it's Shani. So I'm working in my mini journal today. So I hope that you're doing well. So this is just a mini little junk journal that I made, and I used a sewing machine for the first time in years. You guys all know about my sewing inabilities. So I tried this at my friend's house with her sewing machine, and I was able to make this little book, which I absolutely love, and it's filling up fast. So this is tissue paper that I actually got from the dollar store, and I use the colors to kind of inspire how you'll see that this page comes together. So I put that down with just my Elmer's glue stick, the purple kind. I love that one. It's my favorite. And right now I'm just fiddling around and getting some paint from my paint drawer. And I'm just going to use kind of this, it's an off-white. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a pretty crisp white, I think. But it is kind of an off-white. So I'm just going to go over the edges and kind of incorporate that tissue paper more into the page and kind of block out some of the text and just kind of create a beautiful kind of blocky, interesting background, which I love to do. And now I'm going to, I think that's light buttermilk. I think that's the color, which I absolutely love. It's a Deco Arts color. And I kind of went against the edges of the tissue paper too. I think that just gives it a more of effect that it's kind of embedded in the page instead of just glued on there. So it's fun. Now I am going to attempt to do a flower with my fingers. But first I'm going to add some washi tape. So you kind of see the flower theme here. I love washi tape. I have a ton of it. So I haven't actually used this blue floral one before. So I wanted to try that out and see how it would go. So I put it just in random places like I do. And yes. And I definitely did not wait for this to dry. I kind of just went for it. So you see, I get my fingers out and I try to start making a flower. But you'll see that I'm going to get rid of that flower because I didn't like the way that it turned out. And what I should have done is just kind of go with the process and just added details and let things dry. But I didn't want to do that. So I ended up using a brush, but it was a fun process. And now that I look at it, it didn't look that bad. I just didn't think that it had, enough dimension for me. Like it kind of just looked like a blob that was circular, and it didn't really look like a flower to me. So you'll see I'm like, okay, what can I do? I was like, oh, I'll add a darker blue, but I still didn't like it very much. There's definitely a technique to painting flowers with your fingers, so I think I need to work on that more. But it's fine. It worked out. In the end, I liked how it turned out. So I just took my paintbrush and just smoothed out that color and incorporated it even more. And I liked how it turned out. Yes, and then I'm going to try again. I'm going to get out a paintbrush and I am going to paint a flower-ish rose shape onto my page. And I just kept working. And I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera is flicking. It's very strange. I have to see about that. It might be time for another camera. But yes, I'm just going to keep adding just layers. So I start out with just that teal color, and then I add a little bit of white. And I kind of just kept it simple, and then I added this dark color, which I think is Payne's Gray, which I love that color too. It's such a pretty color. And I just keep playing around, and of course I have to add gold because you guys know that I absolutely adore metallic gold. I just love it. I add it wherever I can, so it's a pretty color. And then I'm going to add some blue leaves, which are absolutely not realistic, but that's the fun of this. It's my art, so I can have blue leaves if I want. And then I add some gold. And I think the key here is just to add a variation of color. So yes, so I am going to let this dry completely, unlike what I did before. And I'm going to add a little bit more gold washi tape and just secure it down with my glue stick. So that is it. And I'm just using up some paint. I always do that. Sometimes I remember to cut it out. Most of the time I don't. Then I'm going to take a black pen and I'm just going to create some lines. And then I'm going to write a quote. Live life as if you were to die tomorrow is the quote. And yeah, I thought about this and I saw this quote and I remembered that I went to church and our pastor talked about that, how, life is short, and we're really getting to see that because of the coronavirus. So I just wanted to memorialize that. And just as a reminder for myself that there are things that I should do today and things that I should actually be worried about. And those are the things that I should focus on because I can die tomorrow. So I'm going to use my gel pen and just fill in some of my handwriting. And I always do like a variation of different fonts when I write because I don't really like my handwriting, but if I do it this way, I think it's kind of cool. So that's what I do. So I fill in the circles and maybe add lines, and then I'm just going to take that gel pen and kind of doodle inside of my rows. So I just use lots of loose lines, and I'm filming the process here for Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, it's at Shami Dixon. You will definitely get sneak peeks of some of these pages that I do and some of my artwork in general. So I'm just going to add some marks, and then I'm going to get out my white Jelly Roll pen and just do some scribbles and have fun. But I really love the way this page turned out.